What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is the Tour de Beer. We are finally at stage 17. It's 17 of 21 stages over 23 days. It's been quite the adventure. It's been pretty cool. And again, thank you for hanging along. If this is your first time here, feel free to go back and check out all the other episodes where I talk about the race a little bit and review a different beer every day. Speaking of different, something that I noticed yesterday, I was pointing out my T-shirt, my NBL National Bicycle League T-shirt, which the NBL is no longer around, except in our hearts. Anyway, um, and that T-shirt I hadn't worn in a long time, and I noticed another T-shirt. This T-shirt I haven't worn in a while. I'd have to go back and look on the videos, but I wonder if I've worn a different T-shirt every day of the Tour de France as well. So from now going forward, I'm definitely going to try and pick a different T-shirt, but I'm going to look back and see if I did because that would actually be pretty cool. So 21 stages, 21 different beers, 21 different T-shirts, and I definitely have enough T-shirts, so it's very possible that I did. Anyway, stage 17, really, really good stage to watch. A very emotional win, and I will talk about some of those details of what else was going on. And let's have a beer while we talk about it. So today's beer is called Tidal Creek Brewhouse La Cala. It is a Mexican style lager. What's a Mexican style lager? Well, that's a really good question because it is one of those things that sometimes needs some explanation, really. And because I don't want to say it's not a true style. That guy always keeps jumping down like that. I don't know, maybe he only wants me to talk about Belgian beers. Anyway, um, so Mexican lager. Everybody knows of, like, say, Corona and Pacifico and beers like that. Is that a Mexican lager? Clean, crisp, yellow fizzy beer. Is it something that's been made with corn? So the lager version of, say, your cream ale that you might find at brew pubs, and we talked about cream ales earlier this week, or this tour as well. But the lager version of a cream ale, so it's allowed to be able to have a little bit of corn to it. Is it a yellow fizzy beer with lime? Smutty Nose has El Smutty, which is a lager with lime. Just like sometimes you have the Coronas and you jam a lime into the bottle. This already has the lime in it. And if you really kind of think about it, there is an umbrella of Mexican lagers that includes Vienna lager. So I had a Vienna lager yesterday, and Vienna lager can be in that Mexican lager category. And you're like, well, Vienna, no, Vienna, Austrian, German. You're talking about Oktoberfest type beers. Yes, but there are areas of Mexico that were inhabited by German immigrants that brought those beer styles there. So, and a Vienna lager is like a darker amber colored Mexican lager. So if someone says, "Hey, would you like a Mexican lager?" Oh, yes. I sure, why not? I don't know. So they have their subcategories, I guess. So maybe the fruited Mexican lager would be your lime, your amber Mexican lager would be your Vienna. Most of the time, it's talking yellow fizzy beer, usually with corn as an adjunct. As a side note, the Vienna lager, no adjuncts, not allowed. That would come from German heritage, the Reichenbolt, which means you can only use four ingredients in beer. Corn is not one of them. So there's your little beer history. Let's get into this beer, talk about this brewery. So Tidal Creek, I could not figure out when they were founded. I'm not sure, but they're in South Carolina. So this is another beer that I got from my Mid-Atlantic cycling friend. Thank you, Chris. It's a different, though. A lot of his beers are from the Virginia area. This is out of South Carolina. It says on here Columbia. On the website, it says Myrtle Beach. I've never been there, so I don't know if those are the same thing. I guess. I don't know. I did notice, however, it said veteran owned and female owned. So that's pretty cool too. It's nice to be able to see that it shouldn't just be the same stereotypical person owning and running breweries. Anyone can own and run a brewery. So it's nice to be able to see that and something about beer, they say it needs more diversity. This looks like a place that is embracing that diversity with a female-owned brewery, so that's very cool. Also, speaking of diversity, I did like looking at their website. This is a place that I would go to. So yesterday, when I was talking about Aslan Brewery, and this is not a knock against Aslan, I'm just comparing the two of them together. So Aslan had a lot of IPA, IPA, double IPA, IPA, sour, 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 and a couple of other things. Looking at Tidal Creek's brewery lineup, IPA, West Coast, IPA, hazy, like New England, brown ale, Pilsner, uh, the Italian, a sour, another, like there were more traditional styles. There was a Hefeweizen on there too. So that's what I kind of like, and hopefully they do them all well. And you walk away like, what am I in the mood for today? It shouldn't be the way it was in when craft beer first started, when it was yellow fizzy beer, yellow fizzy beer, yellow fizzy beer, yellow fizzy beer, a local beer, and Guinness. And now it's IPA, 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 double IPA, maybe something else that we're doing, a sour and a dark beer. Like, where's the variety? I like variety. I'm an old school guy. I want to walk in, and it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Maybe I'm thirsty and I want a half a Weizen, or I want a Mexican lager. And other days I'm going to want my IPA. Enough of my ranting. Let's talk about this beer and talk about today's stage. So I've got sweet malt, corn. Sweet is like sugar, so you can use some dextrose in here as well as getting a fermentable. And definitely some of that flaked maize, that corn flavor or aroma, I should say. A little more body than I expected out of a yellow fizzy beer. So again, it's not like American lager, like I talked about a few days ago, where it's going to be super dry and crisp. A little more body to it. A little lacking on the carbonation, unfortunately. Um, Wish I had a little more pop to it. I don't think it's old. Looking at when it was canned, drink by October. So no, this is relatively fresh beer. So that's great. Yeah, Tidal Creek Brew House, Columbia, South Carolina, and like I said, it said Myrtle Beach. There's a lot of small words on here. Even with my glasses, I can't do that. Sorry. So, oh well. So we have Mexican lager, light, easy, refreshing, drinkable beer. A little bit more body than the lawnmower beer. I'd say this is a good beer that's going to go with other warm picnic foods. Cheeseburger, Mexican lager. Okay, fine. Tacos, soft tortilla tacos with roasted green peppers. How about that? Soft tortilla, roasted onion, roasted green peppers, skirt steak chopped up, and maybe a green salsa, a verde salsa with this. Yum. All right, I've been ranting about beer for a while, and you're like, "Will you talk about the race, Chase?" But I know more about beer than I knew about bike racing. So here's what happened, what I saw during a bike race. It was fun. So we there was something else that I was going to talk about from last stage, but that doesn't matter. Here's my takeaways. Wout Van Aert is an incredible, incredible bike racer, and I feel like he needs to get something. I feel like the green jersey was the points, and it was for the sprinters. A lot of the sprinters got the points, and I don't know if the structure's changed over the years, but it also seemed to be like the most consistent guy. He's not going to win in the mountains, not going to get in the breakaway, but always going to be in the action. Can win an intermediate sprint, maybe be able to be a little bit of climber, be able to win a bunch sprint, something of talents. And I thought that's how the green jersey kind of came about, was sprints and fast, but also most consistent. Now it really just seems to be sprinters, but the most consistent rider. Look at it, Wout Van Aert, getting a second, getting a third, getting a second, always in the top 5, top 10, every finish. Wout Van Aert is an amazing bike racer, and we've seen him do this before, like win in multiple fashions, and he's like a cyclocross guy, and he's got great hair. Man, Wout Van Aert. So you can tell, by the way, I'm saying no, he didn't win today, but he made top 5 again. Wout van Aert needs to be able to get something. I don't know if it's different in jerseys. They're talking about how they don't like how the points, the polka dot jersey is really just going to the GC guys now, which is what's happening this year, where it used to just go to the climbers because those guys were willing to take a risk and go in the breakaway. And the GC was all, we'll battle up behind here. There's nothing for us up there. But now that there's time bonuses on the top of certain mountain climbs, well, they're going after that too. So they are the best climbers, so they should get the polka dot jersey, but it's not how the polka dots were invented. And so I don't know exactly how the green was invented too. Like maybe there should be a way that Wout van Aert should be getting something. I don't know what's going to happen with the climbing jersey, but right now that still belongs to Tadej Pogacar, and he's making Jonas be his little. Here, you can wear this because I already have the yellow. You know, he keeps yellow. Jonas is still riding the polka dot, still in second. Remco Evenepoel is still in third, but looking really really good. As far as the race itself, I'm taking a look at my notes. You see, I keep looking away. I'm not very good at keeping something here that you can't tell or studying it. I like to have my beer. I like to relax after work and just kind of talk about the race. I will talk about what we looked here. It was a lot of different groups trying to make the breakaway. Richard Carapaz, once again, in one of those groups. Then not there. Then there was another set of guys trying to get there. And then the move was made, and I believe it was um, uh, Mikhail Kwiatkowski. Nah, you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, Mikhail Kwiatkowski. He makes a move, jumps on, and he starts going, and then two more guys go with him. And Kwiatkowski looks like if he's looking strong and other riders with him, he has a really good chance of winning this breakaway. And it's the three of them. It is Victor Campenaerts, Mikhail Kwiatkowski, and Matteo Verchères, who's a rookie, brand new rider, French rider. He actually crashed in the neutral start. So you're not thinking this guy's going to be there at all. It was a weird setup, too. They're going down the street and there's like this pipe fence. It looks like a bike rack in the middle of the road. Completely silly. But that's there. And he hit that, managed to be able to get back up, gets into it, and obviously riding along and being okay. Yeah. So he gets in. So it's the three of them. It's Kwiatkowski, Verchens, and Victor Campenaerts. And the longer that they're getting, or closer as they're getting to the line, this looks like this should be Kwiatkowski's race. Campenaerts, however, just rode on pure emotion. He stayed in the back. He played really smart. The rookie, Verchens, actually took a flyer, went out, but just couldn't hold on to that. And when Campenaerts started to reel him back in, Kwiatkowski rolled him back in. That ended up putting him on the front, not where he wanted to be when you're getting ready to launch a sprint. And out comes Victor Campenaerts. Boom! And his first win. He's a longtime pro, been riding for a long time. And these are some of the moments of the Tour de France that I love because he crosses the line and he's just emotional. He's on the phone right away, FaceTiming his girlfriend, where he just had a baby. There's a baby and his lady and it's family, and he's crying and he's just super emotional. Um, I just thought it was so cool. Uh, Sean Quinn, the American, had another really really good outing. Um, he actually said in an interview that so far the tour has not been as physically demanding as he thought. Is he superhuman? I didn't I don't know, but good for Sean Quinn for feeling that good. Um, Taking a quick look at my notes here, what else I had on here? Grimet, yeah, those guys look the same. Green jersey, nothing really there. Yeah, it was a final. There were two chase groups. Actually, the two chase groups were a minute behind. So it was like 30 seconds or 25 seconds and another 35 seconds. So there were two chase groups, and they were trying to get to them, but it just never happened. And it was a great three-man race. They worked really, really well together. So you could see them staying committed to each other, different teams just saying, hey, if we can stay away, we have an opportunity to be able to win this. Reminds me of how Lachlan Morton won Unbound this year, where The two of them were working, and he said this in an interview and a story afterwards, where the person who's been your friend for all these miles, working together, working with you so you can make sure you don't get caught, is now the enemy. Because now you've got to work on a way to try to find to beat that person. Very interesting insight by Lachlan Morton. And that's what happened. So congratulations to Victor Kapanets and a win in stage 17. I'm up against it. It's been more than 15 minutes. Thank you for hanging out and listening to me ramble. But I hope it was worth it, because I was saying an exciting race finish. And this beer had a lot to talk about in the descriptions as far as some history behind Mexican lager. So checked out La Cala, Tidal Creek Brewhouse, Mexican style lager, easy drinking, uh, with a little bit more body. And is it anything that's going to kick your teeth in? No, that's not what it's supposed to be. So until next time, we'll see you tomorrow. Another stage, another different beer, hopefully another t-shirt. We'll see you then. Until then, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, ride bikes, drink beer, do epic shit. Cheers.